knew something was wrong the moment the boy started answering my questions like he'd practiced them in front of a mirror. Under normal circumstances, maybe, but I'm a pediatrician, and this was a routine appointment. The boy's name was Evan, 7 years old. He sat on the exam table with his hands folded lightly in his lap, feet not moving, back perfectly straight. A posture no one teaches a child, but children sometimes learn anyway. His mother stood beside him with a soft, polite smile. When I asked whether she wanted to stay in the room or step out for part of the interview, she answered immediately, "Oh, I'll stay." Warm, friendly, but just a split second too fast. Of course, I said. I didn't react outwardly. You never react until you understand what you're reacting to. "So, Evan, tell me how things have been, not just school, anything." He blinked once, slowly, like someone opening a prepared document. "My overall functioning has been stable," he said. "The medication helps increase my productive attention, but I continue to experience emotional dysregulation in the evenings, which interferes with optimal behavior." His voice was calm, neutral, not robotic, just emptied of anything except correctness. I glanced at his mother. She gave a proud, encouraging nod, as if she'd just remembered a line for a school play. "That's very informative," I said carefully. "Can you explain what evenings feel like, just in your own way?" Another blink. "In the evenings," he said, "I feel something that makes my body too big and too small at the same time. I don't want to have reactions that cause difficulty. I'm working very hard on that." Something tightened in my chest, a faint tug, the sense of a puzzle piece turned the wrong way. "Who is it difficult for?" I asked quietly. He paused, longer than before. He looked at his mother just one time, not fearful, just checking something. Then, "For everyone. But it's mostly important at home." His mother lifted her hand from his shoulder and smoothed the air behind him as if polishing nothing. "He just means he wants to do well," she said. "He's a very motivated kid." I nodded, but inside something flinched. Motivation in children is messy, inconsistent, emotional. Evan's motivation felt like a line spoken from memory, a line meant to reassure. I shifted to a simpler question. "What do you like to do after school?" I asked. He answered instantly. "I engage in activities aligned with calm body skills." "What kind of activities?" I asked. He blinked. "Appropriate ones." A script, but not a messy, kid-built script. A carefully rehearsed, adult, structured one. And then came the midpoint shift. "Evan," I asked gently, "do you ever feel mad or sad or lonely? Do you ever just have a hard day?" His gaze didn't change. His face didn't soften or tense. But his voice lowered, almost confidential. "I don't like when I'm wrong. It makes the night harder." My heart skipped. "What happens at night?" I asked. He blinked slowly. "Everything gets quieter. I don't want things to get quieter." His mother stepped in, quickly, smiling. "Oh, honey," she said lightly, brushing his back. "She means feelings, not routines." Right, except that wasn't what he meant, and both of us knew it. I continued the exam. Kids usually wiggle, laugh, comment, flinch. Evan followed every instruction perfectly, instantly. When I asked him to take a deep breath, he inhaled exactly once, exactly on cue. "Any stomach aches lately?" I asked, probing gently. He shook his head, then tonelessly, "I don't have those kinds of days." He paused. For the first time, something flickered behind his face, a crack in the practice surface, something unstructured, something real. "I don't have..." He started again. "I don't have..." Then cut himself off. His expression reset. A tiny shift, like a door quietly closing in a long hallway. Then he delivered the corrected line, clean and polished. I don't have those kinds of days anymore. Anymore. His mother's smile never wavered. She looked relieved, though, as if he remembered something important. I swallowed. Evan, I said softly, does anything scare you? Anything at home or at school or anywhere? He considered this, not with emotion, but with precision. I don't think fear is productive, he said. I try to make the correct face instead. My skin prickled. What's the correct face? I asked. Before he spoke, he visibly ran through an internal check, a quiet, mechanical sorting. Then, the one that makes the evening normal, he said. The line landed like a needle in my lungs. His mother laughed gently. He just means he's learning emotional regulation, she said. No, that wasn't emotional regulation. That was erasure. But nothing he'd said was actionable. No threat, no injury, no accusation. Just a 7-year-old boy speaking like a carefully optimized narrator of his own life. I finished the exam. Everything was physically normal. Every measure in range, every reflex intact. When the appointment concluded, Evan slid off the table with graceful precision. His mother zipped his hoodie for him. She didn't look strict, or tense, or controlling. She looked like any other mother and grateful a hard appointment had gone smoothly. But as I wrapped up the charting, Evan paused at the door. He turned back and looked at me with those watchful, neutral eyes. Can you tell me, he asked quietly, what I answered wrong so I can fix it? I stared at him, throat tightening, because behind the polished words was a fear so quiet, so conditioned, so far beyond anything he could name. His mother placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Oh, sweetheart, she said, you did wonderfully. You always do wonderfully. He nodded once, as if that confirmation was a key turning in a lock, then left. I sat for a long time in the empty room, listening to the thin hum of the vent, staring at the paper on the exam table, perfectly smooth except for the faintest indentation where his heels had rested motionless. I've always been afraid of missing something, and today I know I missed something. Something not harmful, not illegal, not reportable. Something worse. A child who has learned to survive by performing the version of himself that keeps the night quiet. A child who answers correctly because correctness is safety. A child whose inner world feels evacuated. There's no diagnostic code for what I saw today, and no protocol for the kind of silence that follows a child who's been taught, one careful gesture at a time, to be an acceptable person. We're all learning how to support others without reshaping them, to guide without pushing, and to let people grow in the direction that's naturally theirs. You don't have to earn your place by getting everything right, or by performing a certain way. You're enough as you are. Embrace people for who they truly are, and let them embrace you the same way. The world would be softer and better if we all did that. Take care of yourselves, and thanks for being here.